Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Kara. I'm an educator and I'm here to educator to you. So today we're going to talk a little bit about beginning reading. So growing up, we are taught from a very young age, 1, 2, 3 years old, how to sing the alphabet. We're taught A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way to Z. And then we're told there are 26 letters in the English alphabet. However, let's dissect that for a minute. There are 26 letter names, but if you really think about it, each of the letters has two ways of writing, uppercase and lowercase. So let's think about this. There's 26 letter names, but there's actually about 52 letter symbols, or the symbols that we use to write the letters of the English language. So let's dive even a little bit deeper. Technically, we should probably be singing the alphabet A, B, B, C, C, D, D, but that would sound funny. So we're not going to do that. We're going to sing the alphabet the way we always do, but we need to make sure that students or children understand there are 2 letter symbols for each letter name. So instead of having 26 letters to learn when we're trying to read, we now have 52. What is that you say? Yes, there are about 10 letters that kind of look similar, such as the letter X. The big X and the lowercase x are pretty much the same, just different in size. So is the letter Z, so is the letter P. So we'll take out about 10 of the letters because they look pretty much the same. So now we're down to 42 letter symbols. So we have 42 letter symbols instead of the 26 letters we thought we needed to learn. And then we have to learn about 42 to 44 letter sounds or phonemes that go with those symbols. So already we've gone from 26 letters to about 42 letters that we need to learn what they look like. And we also need to learn about 42 to 44 letter sounds. So already reading is becoming a little more complicated than we thought. So let's dive even deeper. We have the 42 letter symbols, 44 letter sounds that make up about 171,146 words that are used in the English language. Whew. Now, so we've talked about letter names, letter symbols, and letter sounds. Now let's see what we do with those. So when we learn to read, first we learn the phonemes or the sounds of each symbol. So you learn that A sounds like A, you learn that B sounds like book, and you go all the way through the alphabet. Well, there are about 44 sounds. So you have to learn the combinations. Yes, the letter A sounds like A, but if you have A and I together, it will sound like A. If you have A and Y together, it can sound like A. So there are different combinations of phonemes that help us create our phonics. Now, when we're learning our phonics, we learn the individual sounds first, which are the phonemes. Then we learn how to blend them together, which creates a word, such as D-A for day, or D-A-G for dog. So we have to learn how to blend our phonemes to create our phonological awareness. So once we learn the letter sounds and how to blend them together with all of the possible combinations in the English language, we then need to build up automaticity, or the ability to just read through a sentence fluently based on the sounds or the symbols that we see. So you might see the sentence, the dog jumped over the fence. You need to be able to read it just like that so that you can also comprehend what you're reading. If you're reading slowly because you're struggling with your phonics and you're sounding out each and every word, then it's going to be harder to remember a whole page of information. So let's make sure we focus on fluency with our children before we move on to comprehension. Now, your brain is so amazing. While we're reading, we're seeing the symbols, we know the sounds of the symbols, we're putting the sounds together, we're able to do that fluently across an entire sentence or a whole page. Not only that, we're able to comprehend what we're reading because we have to also know what each of those words mean. So all of that is happening at the same time. Our brains are just like a computer. Actually, we're better than computers, but we have so much going on at once that we're really not even focused on what we're actually looking at. We're more focused on the reading and the comprehension, because we're reading a whole book and we're like, oh, I want all the knowledge, that we take for granted how much process is happening while we're reading. So let's make sure that those of us who can read fluently and proficiently are grateful for this amazing skill. Now, there's no mystery or there's no reason to wonder if all of that has to happen for us to be able to read fluently and comprehend what is in a book or on a page or in a newspaper, that 1 in 4 children actually struggle with reading. Now, it's not always due to a learning disability such as dyslexia. It can also be because the child was raised in poverty. Now, when children are raised in impoverished areas, they often have limited access to reading materials, which also gives them less view or less experience with written text. And they're also not read to as often by their parents, because oftentimes the parents also have low reading fluency. Now, their other issues could also be because of speech, language, or hearing difficulties. So there are a lot of things can cause a child to have difficulty with reading, and it doesn't have to be a learning disability or a learning difficulty. It could be because of some other situations. So let's make sure we are patient with our young readers and even our adult readers, because there's actually a very large population of adults who are illiterate and do not know how to read. Let's be patient with all of our people learning to read, and let's make sure that we are grateful for the skill of reading.